So, I made dinner, I did some shit, I came back, and everything fucking stopped working. Oh, for the love of everything holy and decent. And then, like, everybody starts asking me about work. And I'm like, well, they haven't messaged me back in like an hour, so I'm like, well, then maybe they'll get to me later. And I'm just like, nope. Now they get to me. Now they get to me. Okay. But while I wait for that message to come through, I'm hoping they'll want to schedule tomorrow, because it's the only time I really have. So I am oddly excited for this game to get somewhere good. I should really start over, that was horrible. At least for the YouTube part of it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm excited for this to get somewhere. So let's see. Let's jump right back. And okay. Sleep comes easier tonight. And for the first time in a long time, I dream. Of clear skies, of unrestrained laughter from children playing in the streets, and of small cramped dwellings. I'm not sure if that came from the game or if that was my neighbor at the perfect timing with their child screaming. I don't know. To an outsider, the site does not paint a pretty picture. However, this is home to me. October 23rd, Sunday. Morning dawns bright and clear the following day. Although the air still feels muggy and I miss the chilly autumn weather, it's one of those rare weekends when I'm up even before my alarm rings. If it wasn't for Ash's call last night, I'd probably sleep in. When 9 a.m. rolls around, I'm already heading downstairs where Ash is waiting for me in his car. His hair is disheveled. I don't know if something's going on with the light in the game. It was me. I was issue. When I was trying to get things to work earlier, I apparently accidentally grabbed and dragged the color setting in Elgato quite a ways down. Anyway, we're back. We're good. His hair is a disheveled mess, eyes drowsy, and overall looking like he hurried to get out of bed. That answers the question. That's the children next door. Or fell out of it. Or both. He looks adorably rumpled this way, but I'm not going to tell him that. It only blowed his unbearable ego.
Good morning, Ash!
He makes a motion with his fingers around his ear. Tone it down.
Can you even drive?
He answers me with a slight raise of his hands, a yawn, and nothing more. He has never been particularly fond of mornings, and for that I'm thankful for God and the universe. Less mental capacity for him to make fun of me. Ha! There's the reason why mornings are my favorite. It doesn't take long for us to reach our destination, the small cafe situated in Luxbourne's busiest street, the same one I'd often visit with Rebecca for its cheap food. I've never gone here on a Sunday, and it's striking how different it appears without the usual weekday and Saturday rush. The atmosphere especially reminds me of something we also have back home, near the university I used to attend. I wonder what happened to it. It was being renovated before I left, so I never got to visit one last time. The place has always had a calming effect on me. But today, despite standing in a place similar to it, anxiety easily washes over me as soon as I step out of the car. I'm quite used to dealing with people I've never met before, thanks to my work, but still, I don't know him. In spite of the fact both Ash and Becca have vouched for him, what will he think of me and my story? What if he thinks I'm crazy? Hell, even my own friends thought so. I draw in a breath to quell the panic beginning to rise in me. Oh well, only one way to find out. A few hesitant steps forward, and then Ash is suddenly pulling me back by my elbow.
Hold on, scaredy cat, not too fast.
Without warning, he flicks my forehead. Hard.
That hurts! What was that for?
He likes you, and he's abusive, and if we get the choices in this game, you will not. He's already walking away when I look up, and I hurry to catch up with him, puzzled. I really don't understand this guy. At least, explain why you're flicking other people's foreheads all of a sudden. That's all I can say.
Get yourself together, will you? He's not going to bite.
I have never saved yet. Probably should do that. I thought it was an autosave. Good to know.
He's very accommodating, too.
I wasn't scared of him or anything.
You don't look like it. Didn't sound like you were okay last night either.
Huh?
What was that last one? Hey! Don't just ignore me!
All questions and retorts die on my mouth once he opens the door to the shop. A cast iron bell attached to it chimes softly, announcing our arrival. The smell of freshly brewed coffee welcomes us as soon as we step in. Like the usual, several tables and chairs have been set up for the patrons. But most of the customers have forgone them in favor of the more comfortable throw pillows and bean bags the staff has laid out on the floor. Becca would love to know they have something like this on Sundays. She's been complaining how uncomfortable the library chairs are for a long time now. Ash leads me to a secluded spot near the window where an old man, probably in his 50s or 60s, is seated, enjoying the brew and a book. I need his email or I can't do this.
Professor Clark!
It's just Andrew now. I'm no longer your professor, Detective Inspector Frey.
The guy, Andrew, looks up from his book and gives him a smile. A sheepish look crosses Ash's face at the older man's admonishment. More unusual, in my opinion, is seeing him appear like a parent has just scolded him. Blah, words. But it suggests a familiarity between them, one that goes beyond what someone expects from a simple student and mentor. Okay. Back to whatever the fuck we were doing. Hello, awesome and great, what's up? With another warm smile, he gestures for us to take the empty seat opposite of him.
Have you been waiting long?
Quite some time. But I come here early on weekends. Best time to get their first serving of Bearclaws. They're the only place that serves it here. I took the liberty of ordering for you two. I hope you don't mind. I thought it'd be best to talk over a decent helping of coffee.
No. Soon enough, a waiter brings us 2 more cups and sets down a basket of
Aren't you going to
pastries.
introduce the lady?
Ah, right, sorry. Isabella, this is Prof. Andrew. He's one of my professors back at the university. Andrew, this is Isabella Santos.
Santos. Portuguese? Spanish? Brazilian? Mexican?
Filipina, actually. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor.
Ah, your name carries a lot of history, Miss Santos. Just Andrew is fine. Don't do what Ashton's doing. He doesn't listen to this old man.
He doesn't listen to anyone, more like. The awkward tension typically present in first meetings dissipates after that. I was expecting someone strict and, to an extent, someone severe. But Professor Andrew Clark is definitely the opposite of what I have in mind. The more personal kind, similar to a grandfather who dotes on you at a family gathering. It's obvious why Ash has taken a liking to him.
Ashton tells me there's something you wish to discuss that I could help with. Let's hear it then.
I give Ash a hesitant glance, but he nods and gestures towards Andrew with his head. He's leaving it to me. It's my story to tell, after all. I keep it short and concise. I found a letter in this old mansion, now I'm cursed. Exactly as I have told Ash and Zach when they asked about it. I don't mention the name of the place. No use saying it now that someone else legally owns it. No use dragging other people into
I'm
my
sure
problems.
it's that letter I found. But I don't know anymore. I just want to know how to escape this nightmare.
Of course. We're talking about the one in Anslem Village, aren't we?
How did you...
Don't look so surprised. There's only one place popular enough here if we're going to talk about hauntings. I once had a colleague who wrote about it and the urban legends surrounding the place. Years worth of study, but fascinating. It's a shame he passed away at such a young age. He would have done a much better job at explaining topics like this one compared to me. Ashton here might disagree, but it's an interesting topic in sociology, if you care to have an open mind.
Studying the science and theory behind it is completely different from outright believing in it.
You don't believe in those stories, sir?
Now, this isn't a question of belief. All I'm saying is things like these speak a lot about a place's culture and history. And it's not just limited to ghosts. Monsters, gods, you name it. Even you, Miss Santos.
What about me?
How you respond to these stories. It tells a lot about you and your upbringing, in the same way it tells me why our detective inspector here finds such topics absurd. Interesting, isn't it?
My head is starting to spin from all this. I'm not the smartest person around, but I understand what he's trying to get at, I think. It's still too much to take in at once. I look to Ash for help, but his eyebrows are drawn in a frown. If he keeps staring like that at his cup, I'm pretty sure it'll crack soon.
There's still something you're not telling.
Didn't I tell you everything the other day?
Yeah, but you mentioned the rites. Then you proceeded to drop the topic right after. What's with that?
They don't have anything to do with this.
Rights. Luke and Hannah, right?
Yeah, they're the ones who got the place.
I'm not surprised. They're the kind who gets what they want when they set their eyes on it. From what I've heard, word gets around.
A heavy sigh escapes my lips. Probably or not, they're just my clients, albeit a little pushy, but my clients. End of story. I wish he'd stop pestering me about them. Oops, my controller is off again. What is it again that Becca does when dealing with a particularly difficult child? No, I don't care. The pesky, annoying kind? I wish I could remember. I could certainly use the same trick about
Ashton,
now.
look here. I know you're trying to help, but the deal's almost already closed. The papers are being prepared. Once it's done, it's over. I'm just their agent.
And when is that happening?
When what? Is there even a purpose to this line of questioning?
Your working relationship with them. When's it going to end?
About a week from now? It depends on how long the papers will take, but they want us to rush it.
Really? You're absolutely sure about that?
Yes, really. Unless they want to buy a house again and want me and Rose to be their agent. If yes, then I don't see a problem with it. Now stop annoying me about it.
Don't accept it.
What? Why? It's my job.
Oh, Lord. Even my younger siblings aren't this difficult to deal with. Then again, Ash is far from a younger sibling to me. If he'd only spell it out, surely I'd understand. We wouldn't even have to talk about it right now. That's how it is, right? Find an even ground, talk about it like adults we are. It wasn't like this before, but somewhere along the way something has changed in us as people, as friends. I wish there's a way I could tell when or why. Instead, I'm left searching blindly for reasons. Shut up. The next thing we know, we'll be drifting further and further apart. How frustrating.
Now, kids, settle down. We're not going to solve anything by shouting.
Sorry, Sir Andrew.
And we're not going to solve anything either if you keep omitting things.
Speak for yourself. I'm not the only one doing it.
You'll have to forgive my former student, Miss Santos. He's always been the curious kind. Many people think he's lazy, but it's actually the opposite. I see that hasn't changed.
Oh, really? How is he back when he was your student? I'm sorry, I need to ask. He doesn't talk much about that.
And there's a reason why. Please don't.
Tried to sleep on the first day of class. He didn't repeat it after what I made him do when I caught him. Students like him are the easiest to deal with, once you know what piques their interest. I'd have to say, he's one of the very few who's actually interested in the subject, though. But there was this one time when...
By the end of the conversation, Ash looks like he's praying for the ground to swallow him. He's never one to talk about himself. What I know about him are mostly bits and pieces I've gleaned over the years. He's an atrocious singer, he's bad at art, and he has a personal vendetta against mornings. Now it feels he hasn't had the heart. Now it feels he isn't that hard to figure out after all. It's past noon and Andrew has to leave us for another meeting. But before we
Miss
start,
Santos, a word of advice. Just keep in mind that when it comes to cases such as this, they aren't always what they seem.
Naturally, the man in the letter was brought up several times during our talk. And though Ash is right in that Andrew offers a different perspective, he has left me with more questions than answers instead. What is she? What does she want from me? Is she ever going to leave? They all continue to bug me after we've left the coffee shop. I don't even notice when Ash takes a different turn on our way back.
Where are we going? You can drop me off at the park.
Guess. You have 3 chances.
I'm serious, Ash. Where are we going?
He doesn't answer, but shortly he stops the car in front of a small, nondescript food stall a little ways away from the movie house. If I wasn't paying closer attention, I would have missed it without a doubt. He motions for me to wait as he gets out of the car and walks in its direction. Sheesh, if you want to buy something, just say it. No need to make yourself look mysterious. It makes you look more like a dork than cool. The wait isn't long, however. Soon he's walking back holding 2 fish-shaped cones in both hands. Ice cream, parfait, the cross of the 2. By the time he's back inside the car, I'd given up on my effort to figure out what he bought. Not that it looks bad, it's actually quite
Here,
cute.
take it.
I have to move my head back a little when he thrusts at me to avoid the ice cream and the fruit toppings from ending up on my
What's
nose.
this for?
That is kind of cute, and I kind of want one. I don't want it now.
My arm's getting tired. 5, 4, 3.
With a wary glance, I take it off his hands. I still don't understand why there's a need for ice cream today. Nevertheless, I take a small bite. It's actually pretty good. It must have shown on my face because he chuckles as soon as I
Saw
take
the
another
place
one.
open the other day when we watched Zach's movie. Thought I should give it a try. It doesn't seem like a bad place to get food from time to time.
And you're giving me free ice cream because...
Do I need to have a reason?
Are you really going to ask me that?
Here's the thing about Ashton Frey. He does not just treat anyone to free food because he feels like it. He's that much of a Scrooge. Hell, he even asked me to teach him how to haggle once. Haggle. Of all the people who'd ask me that, I'd have expected such requests from Becca, but Ash, not at all. If I'm going to be honest, he looks a bit constipated with that expression on his face right now. I think he's starting to regret ever buying me this.
The other day? The movie with Zach and Rebecca? Rebecca's there, yeah, I think so. Yeah. Anyway, during the movie, we, that's to say, we... Shit. Should have written down something first.
Get to the point, Ashton.
Right. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry for, not getting to the point. I'm sorry for the other day. I got carried away. I said things that
You're still an
upset
asshole.
you. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay? That's all? That's all you're going to say? You're not still angry, are you?
You didn't have to buy me anything. A simple sorry would have been enough.
I bite into the cone again, a small attempt to keep myself occupied and relieve the heat crawling up my face. It doesn't work, but at least I don't have to look at him. Why am I feeling embarrassed over an apology? I have no idea. It's not like it wasn't called for. They were being mean, especially him, and in that fraction of a second it hits me. He skipped his day off just for today. I should be the one apologizing and thanking him. Silence is an awkward company while we finish our respective snacks. There are words for this. For people like us, for understandings and sentiments like this. Yet in this instant, they won't come. As promised, he drops me off at the park right after, phrases unsaid still hanging heavily in the air. No, we're not dating that asshole. I don't care what you say. No. In this weather, the city park gives off a lazier, more languid vibe than usual. Where children are usually seen running around and playing, there are now people lying, leaning back on their picnic blankets, simply enjoying the afternoon sun. The smell of food drifts from nearby carts, and if the wind blows in the right direction, one could catch the whiff of freshly trimmed grass. Maybe I should try walking home today to get my mind off things. To try and find the words somehow. I haven't done that
Thanks,
in a while.
Ash, for today.
No problem. Say hi to Rebecca for me.
Yeah, I will.
Even so, I linger. We both do. A mild, humid breeze brings the smell of dried leaves, warm to earth, and far-off distant memory. A false starts and awkward first meetings. Same place, same people playing the same parts. Funny how of all the days, my brain chooses to remember it
Wait,
now.
Belle.
Ash exits his car. He strides up steadily when he approaches me, or maybe this is his uncertainty showing. I'm not quite sure. He's never looked uncertain to me before. Always calm, always sure, always collected. He stops a short distance from me, close enough that he's within an arm's reach, but just far enough for his voice to be heard over decent small talk, if this is what it's going to be. He fumbles for something
Here,
in his pockets.
Catch.
The small bag lands cleanly on my outstretched hands before it hits the ground. I raise an eyebrow at him, and he responds by shrugging and stuffing both his hands back in his pocket. Separate to the side, he finds an interesting spot to look. Sometimes you have to wait, Papa said long ago. For once this time I listen. His voice is halting, hesitant when he finds
My
it again.
mom used to make me carry around one of those when I was young. To ward off evil and bring you luck, she said. I don't believe in this stuff now, but if it makes you feel safe since you're a total scaredy cat, then I guess it's okay to give you one to carry around.
Perhaps at the moment there aren't any words for it. I've never been good with those. But you're right. I could thank him in the best way I know how. I close the short distance separating us and give him a light punch on his arm. The gesture familiar in place of phrases one couldn't spin together or answer too early to seek
See,
out.
you can be pretty nice when you're trying.
I am nice.
When you're sleeping. But thanks for this.
Don't go losing it. It brings bad luck if you do.
Wait, are you serious?
I knew there was a catch. This asshole.
Yeah, that's what they say.
You did this on purpose, didn't you? Oh, I should have known.
Not entirely. But seriously, if anything happens, tell me. I'll be around.
Before leaving, he waves at me one last time. He's back to teasing me, back to our usual routine, back to where we're comfortable with. For all that, I believe in him. I just hope I can keep them safe. Keep him safe. A light wind blows again, sending dried leaves swirling and the distinct smell of earth into the air. For the first time, the sunlight feels less harsh. Maybe a walk is good. I need to visit the grocery too. Come to think of it, wasn't there an art store that opened recently near the park?